So today I have for you my MAC blush collection. Now I am a blush addict and the first ever item I bought from MAC was a blush and it was in the shade Margin, which is one of the colours I've spoken to you about hundreds of times and I'm going to talk to you about today as well. What I've done is I've been through my collection and I've brought out just the ones that I have that are part of the permanent collection to show you. So if you like any of these, then they are on the website and they are in store. I didn't want to share with you any of my limited edition ones simply because it's really annoying when you fall in love with something and then you can't get hold of it. I have one mineralised blush and that's the one that I'm going to start off with, and this is in the shade Gentle. I've had a look online as well and I wrote down what they describe them all as. Now Gentle is a really pretty pink shade with a little bit of shimmer. It's one of the baked powders and you can just see even there on camera it's just got a really nice glow to it. Now they describe it as a raspberry with gold pearl. Now it does have some shimmer to it, but it really isn't like too much or too offensive. It just gives a really nice glow to the skin. I love the MAC mineralised blushes, but this is the only one I have at the moment. Let me know what your favourites are if you've got any of the others. I do really want to get Warm Soul, I think it is. But this is a shade that I tend to reach for more in the sort of autumn winter rather than in the spring summer, just because I find that it looks really nice against slightly paler skin. Absolutely beautiful. I then have one of the Pro Longwear blushes as well. Other than that, the rest are just from the regular blush line, and this is in the shade Whole Lot of Love, and this is a bright pink, and they describe this as a light blue pink, and it is a blue toned pink. I actually think that they do lighter, so I wouldn't really consider it as a light blue pink. But it is definitely blue toned. It's got a lot of power in it and it is very strong, so it's not one that you can use with a heavy hand. You do have to be very careful with it, otherwise you can look a little bit Aunt Sally. And I like a lot of blush. I mean, you can see today I've got a lot of blush on, but it can just look a little bit too much with this colour. It's part of the Pro Longwear. I do find that they're very long lasting. However, I find that all MAC blushes are pretty long lasting. So I can't say that I've noticed any longer wearability from it. The Pro Longwear blushes, they don't describe with a finish, but I would say that this is a satin. And it gives a really nice finish on the skin. It can look very natural when used with a light hand. And that's that one there. So that's A Whole Lot of Love. Now, next one, I'm just going to grab these randomly. This one is Springsheen, and this is the first of my peaches, and this is a sheer tone shimmer blush. I can never get that out properly, and this was one of the colours that I bought when I was trying to find a replacement for Foolish Me, which was also a shimmer sheer tone blush. Now I really like these sheer tone blushes, especially the shimmer ones, because they give a really nice glow to the skin, but they're very buildable. So if you want a softer look, you can just go very light handed, but if you want a fuller colour, you can apply a couple of layers and really get a lot of power to the blush again. Now this one is a definite peach, and they describe it as a peach with pearl. It's definitely that. It's a nice sort of like apricot peach, I would say, so the darker side, and it's just got a nice glow again because of that shimmer. The next one, and another peachy one, this is Fleur Power, and it's sort of like a pinky peach, and they describe this as a soft bright pink coral. Now in the pan, when I look at it on screen, it's coming across more pink, but in the pan it does look more peach than coral. But when I swipe it and swatch it alongside Springsheen, you'll see that it is a definite sort of like peachy pinky coral. A really nice colour. It's a satin finish. It is buildable. I find that you can be quite heavy-handed with this, so if you're not the gentlest of people with blush, a great one to go for. Looks really lovely in the spring and summer, particularly this summer. It looks fantastic with a tan. So that's Fleur Power. The next one is Style, and this was probably, I think this was the second blush that I ever bought from MAC, and I've gone through several of these as well, and this is a frost finish, and they describe this as a coral peach with gold pearl. and that pretty much knocks it straight on the head. It has got quite a lot of shimmer to it, but if I use this, I don't use it with a highlighter. It is again the peachier side. There's not really too much of a coral tone to it. It is definitely more of that peachy sort of side. Gives a lovely glow, again really long lasting. If you have got enlarged pores, perhaps not one of the best ones for you to use sort of like too far onto the apple of your cheek. I love this blush. It is very buildable, and I do find that on my skin when I've got a tan, and when I've got a tan I'm sort of like an NC 40 possibly, I do need to build it up quite a lot. So great if you've got a fairer skin tone and you don't tan too much. Looks really Next up I have pink Swoon, and they call this a sheer tone blush, and they describe it as clearly pink, and it is a full-on Barbie pink. Now this is probably one of my least favourite blushes from MAC, simply because I find that it is quite powdery, and the colour isn't one that I tend to reach for a huge amount, but it is your full-on pure Barbie pink. So if you're looking for that really sort of like candy pink flush of colour, then one to try. I don't find it's got no shimmer in it at all. It is more of a matte colour, but it is sheer, so it is buildable. But as I said, I do find this to be one of the more chalky colours that I've got, so not one that I reach for a huge amount. Next up I have Dolly Mix, and this is candy pink according to MAC, and I think that that's pretty right on. I would actually call this sort of like a fuchsia colour, and this is one of the sheer tone shimmers, so you can really build this one up, and again you wouldn't have to wear a highlight with it if you didn't want to. I really like this colour all year round. It's a colour that I've worn in winter, spring, summer. It gives a lovely glow. It's very youthful, it looks very fresh on the skin, and it is pretty much one of the most talked about blushes that I've ever heard talked about from MAC. So a great one to start with if you're a real fan of pink blushes, and that's Dolly Mix. Next we have Peachy Keen, and this is a very baby peach, and I've never really thought of describing something as baby peach, but on camera again it's coming up a bit more pink, but when you swatch it, you can see more of that peach coming through. Swatching it next to Dolly Mix really does let you see that it is more on the peachy side. I personally though would describe this as more of a coral, and this is one of the shimmer sheer tones again, so no need for a highlight with it or extra product. It looks absolutely beautiful with a tan and on fair skin. Again, a blush that I tend to reach for all year. I really like this if I'm wearing perhaps green on my eyes. If I wear greens on my eyes, I always tend to go for sort of like more corals for the rest of my face rather than pinks, and it's just one of my favourites. I love this colour. The next one is Breezy, and this was a colour that I actually bought when I couldn't get Dolly Mix, and this is more of a plum, and they do describe it as a plum pearl. It does have some shimmer through it, again because it is the shimmer sheer tone, and it is a definite plum shade. Again, one that I tend to reach for more in the winter and autumn. It's great for that sort of fresh airy, just got back in from a long walk kind of look. A really lovely colour. Looks fantastic on darker skins as well. This for me again is one that I don't reach for a huge amount because I tend to go for gentle when I'm after that sort of like fresh airy look, even though it is more of a raspberry and this is more of a plum, but a gorgeous colour and one that I really do have to start using more of. And then the last one, and my ultimate MAC blusher, apart from Foolish Me, which you can no longer get, it was limited edition, is Margin. And they describe this as a peach with golden shimmer. For me, it is a peach, but it sort of airs on the side of bronze, and I don't know how many of these I've used. It was the first blush I ever bought. It is still my go-to if I can't decide what to do. It goes with all looks. It goes with pinks, it goes with browns, it goes with purples, it goes with greens, it goes with coral lips, it goes with pink lips. It tends to work its way into whatever look you like. So if you're after a really, really great all-round blush that you can wear with absolutely anything, then Margin would be the way. Now it does have shimmer in it, and it is a stronger shimmer than some of the others because it's a frost finish. So if you are, again, if you've got those open pores, perhaps not one for you. But when I use it, I just don't use a highlight, and I just love the way that this blusher makes me feel. So there we go, that is Margin, and that is from MAC. That is my MAC blush collection. That are my 10 sort of like staples that we can all get anytime. I really do think that there is something for everybody with MAC blush. I do have another one called Harmony, but I tend to use that for contouring, so I didn't share that with you today. But it's just like a really nice matte taupe colour, gorgeous for contour. But there really is something for everybody. As you can tell, I like more of a shimmer in my blush. I'm not really a matte blush kind of girl. I've only got a couple of satins. So if you're after something with a little bit of shimmer, or not sparkle because they don't really have glitter in them, but shimmer that gives a really nice glow to the skin, then I do think then that you could be hard pressed to find something better than these. Anyway, I really, really hope that you enjoyed this video. Please let me know what you thought, and if there's any MAC blushes you think I really desperately need to try, please let me know in the down bar. Anyway, have a great day, and I'll see you all soon. Bye!